Welcome to another tutorial. This one we're going to look at a High Elf Battle Standard Bearer. Here's what the model looks like all done, painted up. So it's in the similar paint scheme to the rest of my High Elves that I did for Island of Blood and also for the High Elf prints on Mount, which we'll show side by side with this at the end. But I thought I'd do a standard bearer because it's kind of a time-consuming model and you're always going to want one of those in your army. So here's the paints that I used. It's basically the same as the rest of the High Elves I've been doing. So the blue trim there is that true blue from Reaper. The cloaks and stuff are done with this cloudy gray sort of triad. The metal bits are done with the mithril silver and then some Badab black wash. We've got some red areas here, and what else we got? Some of the all of the gold areas are done with this Palomino gold and buckskin pale. So they get Teleran flesh. No, sorry, not Teleran flesh. Where is it? Oh, maybe it's not on here. They're going to get a brown base coat and a Devlin mud, and then these guys here. So it's just a medium brown. Oiled leather is the one from Reaper. Khemri brown works okay for GW. Okay, so what I did, I started out with a just a plain gray spray, so it's almost the same color as the plastic underneath, but just a primer, anything will do. I like gray just because I'm going to end up with some gray areas in the model. And okay, so the first thing off is I painted all of the silver bits, so it's a much brighter silver than I would normally paint. But since these are High Elves, I want that to be nice and bright. And now all I'm going to do is going to give it a black wash, and that's pretty much going to be done. So all the chainmail, same thing, just giving a silver base, and that's mithril silver right there. Okay, now I'm starting some of the other base coats. So I've got this one of the GW foundations there. I think it's Mordian blue, and just doing a base coat over top of the gray. Laying out all my colors right now, nothing too fancy. There's the base color there for the gold, and it looks like actually I used one of the GW Foundation Tau-Stripped Ochre or Idean Dark Sun, not too sure. And I've got some scorched brown here on the leather bits, and I've done the base here with Reaper Stone Gray. Okay, continuing on with the base colors there. Just touching things up a little bit more. Oh, there it is there, Idean Dark Sun. Okay, and so here's some Khemri brown there. I've got some Deneb stone on up here, and Khemri brown on the staff, and I've touched up the gray on all the cloth areas there. It's hard to tell because they're going to be pretty similar. Okay, so just continuing on there. Let's see what else I have going on here. Oh, I'm working on the base. I can see that. I've added some detail on there. And here we go. Okay, so this is just pure black or chaos black if you're using GW. So just working in some more colors there. And there we go with some base colors. So this is the Reaper sort of triads, red brick, blood red, and phoenix red. But you could use a GW, so that's like a scab red there. That's like a Mecharite orange up to one of the yellows, so bad sunburst yellow, I think it is now. Used to be bad moon yellow. And in here, that's some of the Deneb stone, a bit of gray there. Okay, so now now that I've finished the base colors, I'm giving everything a dark wash. So, well, not everything, almost everything. So all the gold areas got a Devlin mud wash. Up here, that's a Griffin sepia. And what else we got? I think that's about it there. So all the gold areas, that's going to sort of accentuate everything, and you can see how it really pools in there. That's because I'm putting lots and lots of the wash on. Oh, here's a little bit of a sidetrack. I was also painting up the banner for the Orc BSB. I haven't painted him yet, so this is just showing how I would do a freehand. So this is just my fine brush with watered down black, kind of sketching out what I'm going to do, and then filling it all in and putting some of the edge there. So that's a bit of bonus. Okay, so back to the sculpted banner. You can see here I'm layering up the grays, so working up towards a white, but it's not actually ever getting too white. Um, so yeah, doing that. Okay, now same sort of idea here, highlighting these up here close to a white, just using some of the Reaper off whites. Okay, and doing the same thing on those there. Okay, so now I'm starting to do some of the highlights on this gold. So I'm just trying to make it look like a non-metallic gold, trying to pull off the edge highlights there, making some extreme highlights. And so I'm building up there with the Palomino gold, so you can just kind of see how that's coming there, and then I'm going to do a nice edge on the bottom. So it's kind of fading to the bright up at the top, and then it'll get a sharp edge on the bottom. That's kind of the general rule I use for these guys. So now I'm working up to the buckskin pale towards those edge highlights. You can see it there as well. So this layer here is kind of up there, kind of that. So you can kind of see how this progresses. Adding some of the gray highlights on here, so just kind of going around the edges, and as well as the blue highlights there, kind of working those in. And I would have done the cloaks as well at the same time. There you are. So painting everything in except for the edges, and doing the same on there. Doesn't look the greatest, but it'll look better in a minute. Touching that up a bit. Okay, now the flames on here, they needed a bit of edge highlights there with the yellow bits, and trying to smooth this out here. Got a bit of red there now, and working up some highlights in there. So I've done the gemstones here, so that's just your regular dark color highlighted on the bottom side and put a white dot on the opposite. And you can see I've got the edge highlights here on the gold now, and this here is pretty touched up as well, so it looks like it's getting pretty close. And so what else would I have done there between that? Oh, I think I forgot to paint the guy's face. I didn't show you that, so nothing too fancy there because it's not really a lot of flesh. The main thing I wanted to do was make sure that this looked decent, because he's a battle center bearer and that's what people are looking at. So let's work our way around here. Nothing too fancy on this, maybe slightly higher quality than I would paint my regular troops, but not quite as much as a general or anything like that. So it was a pretty quick paint job, slowed down a little bit because the banner is quite large. I find those could be pretty tedious because you're adding a bunch of extra colors and all that sort of thing. So there's the non-metallic gold, as I mentioned, that. So you have that sharp edge on the bottom there, and you kind of fade at the top. Some people probably should have had this darker in the middle here, but I think it looks okay for a tabletop, so I'm happy. Okay, and there's the guy's eyes. I had a little bit of a hard time getting them to not look cross-eyed, and depending which angle you look at it, it might still look cross-eyed, but I think I did okay with that. So yeah, the nice model, and there's him with the matching pair. So I did these two guys with the same paint scheme, and not sure how often they'll get used, but whenever I get my High Elf army all finished up, yeah, I'll have these guys available. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this this tutorial, and check my blog. It's like watchingpaintdry.blogspot.com for some upcoming stuff. I got work in progress pictures, and you can have comments, leave comments, and let me know what kind of projects you'd like to see in the future. Take care and see you next time.